How you doing, everybody? Welcome to Monster Territory, brought to you by the Foul Territory Network. An abysmal series here for the Red Sox. Things have been going so well as of late. You're thinking, okay, here we go. The Red Sox, they're back to where they need to be. Even after they traded Rafi Devers, you're still finding some things that are looking good, right? The Mariners series, you take 2 out of 3, you win the first game against the Giants, but then after that, you just kind of fall on your face, right? Now they've lost 5 straight games, getting swept by the Angels. Listen, the Angels, how do I say this about the Angels? The Angels, they're a team that has a lot of talent, but they've been a team for so long now that just has not been able to find their way. And here they are, sweeping the Red Sox. I mean, tip of the cap to the Angels here, but holy cow. This is not a series that you should be getting swept. I mean, my goodness. It's crazy to me, wackadoodle to me, that you have only won 1 game against the Angels out of 6 this year. That is bonkers to me. I don't even know what else to say. This Red Sox team, it's been the same thing all year, right? The Boston and Mid Sox, they take a step forward, they take 2 steps back. They take 2 steps forward, they take 3 steps back. It's just been the same old song and dance all year. They're now 40-42. They're now 3 games back in the wild card behind the Angels at this point. Only 3 hits on the day. You just found something wrong. There was something wrong. It wasn't even just one theme for this series. It was something different every single game. You go back to game 1, Walker Buehler. I mean, that if you want to look for any example of not setting the tone for an entire series, that was it right there. Walker Buehler just got this team off to a bad start for the whole series. He set the bullpen back. Listen, Walker Buehler, he's been one of my favorite pitchers in the game for a long time. The guy's an absolute competitor. He's a savage out there when he's on top of his game, but he just hasn't had it this year. I mean, he looked good before he went on the IL, but ever since then, he even looked good right when he came back against the Mets before he got ejected. But ever since he came back from the ejection, he has just not had it. Sure, he was all right against the Rays, but he's just gotten knocked around here. He is not at all looking like the old Walker Buehler who we all, I think, expected that Walker Buehler probably wasn't going to get back to what he was doing back, 2019, 2020, 2021. I think that was all, in our heads, right? But if you could get a Buehler that, look what he did in the postseason, that I think was reasonable, right? A guy that would go out there, maybe give you 5-6 innings, couple earned runs, few earned runs. That's what we're all expecting. But a guy that was going to be a competitor out there this year from Buehler, I've only seen just pretty much negative down body language from him. A guy that just doesn't seem to have his head in the game. That is something, he just doesn't look like that fired up Walker Buehler. I mean, we saw it against the Mets, right? We saw the fiery competitor that he is, getting ejected. But ever since then, just nothing's been right. And, I know Buehler didn't pitch today, but I'm just looking at the series as a whole. I think he just set this whole team back for the whole pitching staff back, right? You go to game 2, bullpen, Garrett Crochet, you get a tremendous performance. But then the bullpen's just taxed at that point. They've, been sure, the starting pitching was looking good there for a couple of weeks. They were giving the bullpen some time off, but they've been struggling here going back to the Giants series, right? Bullpen's been working hard, and then you had, a gassed Greg Weissert, who's been pitching a lot in the month of June, and he just couldn't hold it down in the 8th inning yesterday, and then you end up losing in extra innings. And then today, Richard Fitz, obviously he's still working his way back. We'll talk about his start here in just a second, but he's still not fully back yet. He still has some work to do. And, the bullpen today, got Luis Guerrero, Brennan Bernardino, Zach Kelly. Sorry, Zach Kelly should not be pitching major league games, in my opinion. Like, Zach Kelly, he should not be in this bullpen. But that's just where the Red Sox are at with their pitching staff right now. So again, I'm looking at one of the biggest factors of this series being Walker Buehler's bad start. Runners in scoring position. That was another bad thing, right? You saw it yesterday. There were times today they couldn't come up with anything. It's the same old song and dance, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating to come on here and have to, talk to all of you at home where we were excited coming into the year about this Red Sox team. We were just excited a couple of weeks ago. Everything was looking great. I mean, you're winning series left and right. And then you trade a Raffy, but you still look good for a couple of games. And then all of a sudden, everything's just gone down the tubes. I don't even know. But I'll give you my thoughts towards the end of the show on whether or not it's time to panic for this team right now. Just, I guess a spoiler alert. I don't think it's fully time just yet. It's obviously not great right now. There are definitely some worrisome things going on right now. And I am not too hopeful about. But I don't think it's time to push the panic button fully. I think your finger could be on it, but I'm not ready to push the button just yet. And I'll give you my reasons why in just a little bit. But we are going to get to the breakdown here. I'm going to talk about Richard Fitts. We'll go over the offense. And then don't forget, we got the Blue Jays coming up. Hey, still got a lot of season left. I know. It feels like we've been doing this for months at this point. That's how long this season has felt up to this point. And we're not even in July yet. There's a lot of baseball left. And we got the Blue Jays coming up next to give you my thoughts on that. Before we do move forward, if you can, everybody, help me out. Just give me a like on the show for today. Hit the like button for me. And if you are new, subscribe. And we're trying to get to 4K by the All-Star break. We're this close. If you can help us get there, I'll love you forever. But real quick, we do have a word from our sponsor. I'll be right back.
FT fam, did you know that Huel has sold over 500 million meals around the world, and now it is your turn to try it. While I drink it.
Drink up, Scott, so I can discuss Huel and how I love it. I had some for breakfast this morning. I like to drink it post-workout because of the protein included in it. It always tastes delicious, whether it's strawberry, banana, chocolate, vanilla, whatever the flavor is. It tastes like a dessert, honestly. It should not taste as good as it does.
I agree. New customers get 15% off plus a free gift at Huel.com when you use the FT code. That is FOUL, F-O-U-L, at Huel.com/FOUL. Don't miss out. Try Huel today for a perfectly balanced meal. If you miss a meal, if you're looking for a little protein boost, you just saw me drinking the Black Edition, ready to drink. There's the vanilla flavor. I love what the chocolate brings to the table. It's really damn good. So give it a shot, FT fam. 15% off plus a free gift for new customers with the code FOUL.
All righty, let's get to it, shall we? Now, Richard Fitts. There were some good things early on with Richard Fitts. The velo was looking good. Breaking stuff was looking pretty good. Was struggling with the command a little early. That's always a bad sign for me at the beginning of a start. When I saw that he was having a little trouble walking some guys, not throwing a ton of strikes, I was a little concerned, but I was liking how the stuff was looking. Velo was sitting in the upper 90s. He was pretty much sitting around like 97, 98, it felt like the entire time. And again, the breaking stuff was looking pretty sharp for the most part. I think just command today and still really just building his way back. I feel like they rushed him back from that pectoral strain that he had. I think he probably needed a bit more time from that to really ramp up better than what he did, but it is what it is. But the first inning, like I said, the command was an issue. Christian Moore, man, I'm just going to say this again. James Hirota, I see you in the chat. Listen, shout out to the Angels, man. And Christian Moore, that guy's a savage. That guy is, he's going to be a really fun player to watch. But had the game-winning home run last night, the 2 homers. But hit by a pitch early on, walked Trout, which Richard Fitts, I don't think he ever wants to go near Mike Trout again. I still think the homer that he hit off of him at Fenway Park, I think is still in the air somewhere. Then he struck out Joe Adell, but that doesn't mean Joe Adell had a bad game. We'll get back to him in just a little bit. 4th inning. We'll get back to Joe Adell right now. Had a home run there. That made it 2-1. Travis d'Arnaud adding a 2-run homer there. That tied the game up. Lamont Wade with a base hit right after that. And, Richard Fitts, it is what it is, man. 4 innings, gave up a couple of runs. Final line for Richard Fitts today. 4 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned. Did have 6 strikeouts. Again, the velo and the stuff was there. Just, he only walked 1, but you could tell, he was just kind of still trying to find his way, hitting his spots, right? It was not a bad day for Richard Fitts, but you just need him to keep building at this point. But then the bullpen took over. Then the bullpen took over. Luis Guerrero coming in for the 5th inning. Sean Welch out with a walk. He struck out Ward, but then Adele had the base hit to take the lead. That made it 3-2. Darno with a base hit. They made it 4-2. Hey, shout out Joe Adele and Travis Darno today, right? Good games for both of them. Brennan Bernardino came in. He got the ground out to Lamont Wade. 6th inning, he came back out. Rengifo Kingery with a base hit. That brought in Zach Kelly. Mike Trout with a 2-out base hit. That made it 5-2. And there was your Angels offense for the day. Now for the Red Sox, only 3 hits on the day. Let me make sure if my eyes were correct. Yes, 14 strikeouts on the day for the Red Sox, just swinging and a missing. Yusei Kikuchi. All right, the Red Sox, they've had success against him in the past, both last start and when he was with the Blue Jays. And Kikuchi was on top of his game here today. Velo was looking good. Breaking stuff was looking great. 12 strikeouts for Kikuchi on the day. The Red Sox did get on the board first. Ref Snyder had the K to start the day, but then Duran, he reached on an error from Kingery at short, who was playing today. Zach Neto has a jammed shoulder, so hopefully for the Angels' sake that he can come back soon. Romy with a base hit. Willier with a walk to load the bases. I think Trevor Story's had a knack for coming through over the last few weeks or so. Had the base hit, got the Red Sox on the board, but that was it. After that, the Red Sox took a nap and they went to sleep. They couldn't do anything after that. Angels settled in. Kikuchi settled in. And, the Angels played a complete game today. The Red Sox looked good from the get-go. You're thinking, all right, you dropped the first 2. Coming out of the gates hot. But once again, the pitching. And the bullpen's just taxed. They've been taxed in San Francisco, all right? And this is why you need guys like Buehler to go deeper into the games for you. Again, it set the whole bullpen back. So, it is what it is. Is it time to panic? Just realized the title on the screen. Autocorrect. This is where you got to help me out. That's still not looking good. What is going on here? Oh, my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, we're all just having a tough time here. Is it time to panic? Now, I don't think so. I know that might sound crazy. That might make me sound like a delusional Red Sox fan. There's a lot of things wrong with this team. I think there is talent on this team, even without Rafi Devers, especially when Bregman comes back. When you get Masataka Yoshida back into the lineup, that's really going to help, right? We're seeing the effects of no Rafi Devers in the lineup. I think that's what most people are thinking, but we're actually seeing the effects of no Rafi and no Bregman in the lineup. You don't have your 2 best hitters, right? You don't have them. I mean, you're getting by, with Trevor Story trying to just do his thing, right? Hoping to get something out of the young guys like Marcelo Meyer having a good game yesterday. But you need Bregman back in this lineup, right? I think that's what the Red Sox, when they traded Rafi, I think that's what they envisioned. They said, okay, Bregman, he's going to be back here probably around the All-Star break. And I think Cora actually said that today too. Said that it's probably going to be right after the All-Star break. I think they're playing the Cubs the first series back. And that's what I've been saying. I was saying maybe they could get him back like that series before the All-Star break just to give him a few games, and then he could have that time off for a little bit. But really, you want Bregman for the majority of the second half. I don't think they're going to push that with him. So that would make some sense. That makes more sense to me that they would hold him off until after the All-Star break, especially when you get those few days off there as well. So I think that's really... When the Red Sox traded Rafi, I'll say it again, I think they envisioned Bregman coming back. Obviously, if you don't have good thing. Here's the thing: if Bregman ended up signing somewhere else in the offseason, you're probably not trading Rafi at that point. I think that's safe to say. But yeah, they're going to need Bregman back. I'm not ready to hit the panic button just yet because we haven't seen the lineup at full strength. And then you get another bat in Yoshida, who hopefully can come back and give you some good production. You see Roman Anthony, who's been showing little spurts, right? High exit velocities, working counts. Roman Anthony, I think, is very close, right? So I am excited to see what this offense can do in the second half. I think there is more to tap into there. On the pitching side of things, though, that's where I get a little worried. Right, Crochet, Obviously, he's great, but you need guys here to start stepping up. And we also got some bad news today. Cutter Crawford, it looks like he's not going to be making his way back. He's going to be getting wrist surgery, according to Alex Cora. So Cutter Crawford is going to be out for the year. So there's going to be no Cutter Crawford here. Richard Fitz, he's slowly ramping his way back up here. Tanner Houck, he hasn't looked good in a couple of rehab starts. So what's he going to give you? I'm worried about the pitching, right? We did see a good stretch there, right? Bayo, Giolito looking good, but I don't. At this point, you can't count on Buehler. He's really just a wait and see at this point. To me, if I'm running the Red Sox, I have a hard time putting the ball back in his hand. Cora can say all he wants. Oh, well, after the first inning the other day, he looked good. Well, listen, you need a more competitive outing all the way through. So I'm not confident giving him the ball right now. I'll say this. If the Red Sox are hanging around in the wild card race, just like they are right now, they're within a few games. If they're still there, after the All-Star break, I don't know. I just don't think the Red Sox are going to be like these major sellers like people are starting to make them out to be. And that's not me trying to be a homer. I'm going to take things down the middle the way I see it. I don't think the Red Sox are going to be sellers. As of right now, that could change in a few days. Who knows? If they end up getting swept again by Toronto or whatever, well, then I could have a completely different tone in a week, right? But I realistically think that is going to be the plan. If they're within striking distance of a wild card spot, I think they're going to go out there and try and improve the roster as much as they can to try and go on a run in the second half. Now, do I think they're going to be, completely, trading away all the best prospects in their system to try and land some stars? No, I don't think that's going to happen. But could you go out there and maybe look for, say, a cost-controlled starter to go behind Garrett Crochet? Maybe, listen, the dream for me is Freddie Peralta. I would love Freddie Peralta as the number 2 in this rotation. Could you do something there? That's what I think the Red Sox need. They need someone that you're comfortable handing the ball to after Crochet, right? So that's where, again, I'm not in this panic mode right now. I think there's more offense to tap into. I think there could be a move for the rotation. And then don't forget, you do have Jordan Hicks, where he's going to be making his Red Sox debut at some point here, I would imagine, in the next week or two. That's a guy that's going to give you some good velo out of the bullpen. That's going to be someone that can kind of give something else to this bullpen right now. Slayton's going to come back eventually. Bullpen, I'm not worried about at all. Not worried about this bullpen. One bit, right? Again, it's the starting pitching for me. I think this series, I'll say it one more time, I just don't think they set the tone right off the bat. I think they just set themselves back, and I think they felt like they were playing from behind the entire series. Even though they had a 1-0 lead thanks to Crochet yesterday, you still just felt like you were just having a tough time here. Now, with the offense, again, I did say that I think there's more offense to tap into here, but could they end up adding something for this lineup? Could you go out there and maybe get yourself an everyday option for first base, right? Romy Gonzalez, Abraham Toro, they've been holding it down there. But could there be an everyday option, say Josh Naylor on the Diamondbacks? I think Josh Naylor could be a good fit, to be honest with you. The Diamondbacks, they're looking pretty rough right now because they already lost Corbin Burns and Corbin Carroll. He just got a fracture in his wrist. Who knows when he's going to come back? So the Diamondbacks right now, it feels like they're kind of hanging here by a thread. But if they fall out of it, could Josh Naylor be a bat that you can maybe go after? And the reason I like Josh Naylor to maybe go after is because he has a very low strikeout rate. And you just saw here today, 14 strikeouts for the Red Sox. They rank in the top 5 when it comes to strikeout percentage on the year. That could be a good guy to put into this lineup to kind of relieve those issues a little bit. And then Yoshida comes back, right? And then all of a sudden, if you get Naylor and you got Yoshida too, all of a sudden you're cutting down on strikeouts a lot right there, and you're getting more competitive at bats. So, Jules, you're saying here the bullpen is bad. Well, no, the bullpen is actually one of the best bullpens in Major League Baseball up to this point. I believe they rank, let's see, where are the Red Sox ranking right now when it comes to this bullpen? It has not been very good as of late, but they've been taxed as of late, and they've had a couple of injuries as well. But as of right now, the Red Sox bullpen, they rank 3rd overall in Fangraph wins above replacement. 3.46 ERA on the year. They've had a very good bullpen this year. It's not going to be great all the time, right? They had a tough series. But again, they've been taxed. So this bullpen, I'm not worried about it moving forward, especially that you're going to be getting Jordan Hicks and Justin Slayton back at some point. But I'm not ready to hit this panic button just yet. Not there yet. My finger is hovering around it. It's close. It really is. But I just don't think you've seen this team at its best in the post-Raffy era. Need to get Bregman back, get Massa in the lineup, get healthy. Then maybe we could be talking about something different here next week. So we'll just have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see on that. But it's not looking great right now. It's not looking great right now. But let's talk about the Blue Jays here. We do have another series coming up here. And before I do get to that, though, we do have one more word from our sponsor. We'll be right back.
By now, you know about Arena Club. Buy, sell, trade, open up slab packs to get a card that you don't think you could get usually, but the Grails will tell you that, for example, there's an Aaron Judge rookie card in this week's slab packs, so make sure you check those out.
No doubt. Those are what you want, the Grails.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Judge Grail is awesome, graded, traded if you want, tell you how much it's worth, whatever you want to do. And I'm a big Michael Jordan fan with my 23 shirt on. There's a Michael Jordan Grail in there that I'm looking forward to try to get.
20% off your first slab pack or card purchase at arenaclub.com/foul. Use code foul.
Okay. Let's get back to it here, shall we? And Jules, I see you in the chat. Yes, blown saves. That has been an issue with the Red Sox this year. They do rank very, I don't remember where they rank in blown saves. I know they're up there. They're definitely up there. But when you're looking at the production as a whole from the bullpen, when you're looking at ERA, when you're looking at FIP, when you're looking at strikeout percentage, walk percentage, home runs allowed, the Red Sox are one of the best bullpens. Sure, blown saves. Yeah, that's not good. They got to clean that up. But I'm not worried about the Red Sox bullpen moving forward because you have talented arms back there. Now, Toronto. Listen, we could be having a completely different discussion here in a few days, right? Toronto, as of right now, they are 42-36. They are playing as we speak. They do have the second wild card spot as of right now. The Red Sox, like I said, 3 games back in the wild card standings. I mean, obviously, we're not hopeful right now after getting swept by the Angels, but you never know. Who knows? Maybe you can go out there, somehow win 2 out of 3, and then just like that, you're within a game of a wild card spot again. So you never know what could happen here, but the Blue Jays, obviously we've seen the Blue Jays a lot this year. They played the Red Sox very tough, and hey, they're looking like a decent team this year. They're looking a lot better than I thought they were going to be. But if we take a look at some of these matchups here, for this series, you're going to have Jose Barrios, Chris Bassett, and Eric Lauer. Now, when it comes to Jose Barrios, right, the metrics aren't looking amazing with him. He's limiting the hard hit balls, but really everything else, he's pretty much middle of the road or below average. He's not getting a ton of strikeouts. He's walking a few guys this year. You know, Jose Barrios, he's a guy that can keep you in the game. But this is someone I would like for the Red Sox to start waking up against just a little bit. Then they're going to get Chris Bassett. He's been solid. He's a solid veteran guy. 3.61 ERA, FIP at a 3.41. Bassett's going to come at you. He's going to be tough. He's going to get some ground balls. He's going to keep your team. He's going to keep the Blue Jays in the game. So that's going to be a tough matchup there. When it comes to Bassett, metrics are looking very good. Average exit velo, doing very good there. He gets a lot of weak contact. He's not going to walk a lot of guys. He's going to throw a lot of strikes. Like I said, good amount of ground balls. All right, Chris Bassett's always going to be a pretty tough matchup. And then you got Eric Lauer. He's doing all right this year. He's pitching both in the rotation and the bullpen. ERA at a 2.21, FIP a little bit higher at a 3.84. But with Lauer, the expected numbers are looking pretty good. Gets a good amount of strikeouts. Pretty middle of the road league average when it comes to the walks. But this is a guy where the ball is he tends not to get the ball down on the ground very much. He's only in the 9th percentile with ground ball percentage. So for the Red Sox, hey, this is a team, they like to go swing away and put the ball in the air. Well, hey, maybe this could be a pretty good matchup for the Red Sox here. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. But Bassett, that's going to be a tough one. Let's actually take a look. What are the... well, it doesn't have Bassett on here. But when it comes to Bassett, I mean, he's always a guy I feel like has been... I can't remember the last start he had against the Red Sox. Let me actually go pull this up here really quick. When it comes to Mr. Bassett... Let's see here. Hold on one second, everyone. You know what? Let me just type it in. Here we go. Chris Bassett stats. Let's take a look-see. What are the last couple of starts like? Well, against the White Sox, he's pitched very well there. Only gave up 1 earned. D-backs gave up 3. Cardinals gave up 4. What did he do against the Red Sox? That's what it was. 5 2/3, 1 earned. So he was solid against them. All right. He's going to be a tough matchup no matter what for any team out there. A guy that throws a lot of strikes, but, I mean, could that end up being maybe something in the Red Sox favor? Just a little bit. Where the guy attacks the zone, well, maybe the Red Sox, they can try and do some damage. I don't know. Just have to wait and see. But, everybody, I am going to wrap it up right there. If you are watching on Nesson, I do want to say thank you for joining me here today. I'm going to stay a little bit more on YouTube. So if you want to come see the rest of the show, I am going to talk about Jeff Passan and the article that he wrote over in the last couple of days. I'm going to give you my quick thoughts on that. But everybody on Nesson, thank you for watching. I'll be back here Friday for post-game coverage. But let's talk about the Passan article. Now, again, just told all of you that not ready to panic just yet. But I do want to give you my thoughts on this before I get out of here. I might do a separate video on this for the channel. The top 2. He did what was it called? Ranking Major League Baseball's top 50 trade deadline candidates. Numbers 1 and 2. Alex Bregman and Jarren Duran. Well, ain't that interesting? I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think Alex Bregman gets traded. Even if the Red Sox completely fall off the face of the planet, I don't think they're going to be moving Bregman. I think there's more of a chance they get an extension done with him. Now that Raffy's off the books, I think they're going to go up to Bregman and be like, hey, we want you to be the face of our team. We want you to be the new leader of this team. I wouldn't even be surprised if they offer him being the captain of the team, honestly. I think he's coming to Boston. I think he has set the what's the word I'm looking for? He has set the line on what you need to be when it comes to being a leader in the clubhouse. He's been great with the young guys. He's played well, obviously, before getting hurt, right? He's just been that good presence in the clubhouse that the Red Sox need from a leadership point of view. A guy that goes out there, pretty soft-spoken, but he's going to go out there. He's going to play hard. That's what I think the Red Sox see. And I think they're going to look to try and get an extension done. There was a report not too long ago that Boris, Bregman, they are open to extension talks. Could they get something done like the Giants did with Matt Chapman? I could see that. No way do I think Bregman's getting traded. Absolutely not. Now, Jarren Duran, on the other hand. Jarren Duran. Well, I think that's definitely more likely. I absolutely think that. Because, we've been talking about it for a while now. Who's going to be the odd man out in the outfield? You got Jarren Duran, Wilyer Abreu, Cedar Rafaela, Roman Anthony, and now Masataka Yoshida is going to be coming back here. So you're going to have a lot of guys looking for playing time. With Yoshida is going to be the DH for the most part. Well, you got 4 outfielders looking for 3 outfield spots. Cedar Rafaela, I think his glove is too valuable out in center field, and he's been doing a lot better with the bat this year. Wilyer Abreu, he has more years of control, cheaper than Duran, and he's got more power upside. And he plays a good right field. So with Duran, on the other hand, basically it comes down to Jarren Duran or Roman Anthony. Well, Jarren Duran, he's going to give you that speed, right? He's going to get a lot of triples for you. But we've seen Duran a lot this year making a lot of miscues, both defensively and on the bases. Now, I think his skill set's really hard to replace. There's not a whole lot of Jarren Durans out there growing on trees, right? It's going to be hard to replace that speed in the lineup. But I think where the Red Sox are at this point, with Jarren Duran in the lineup, you're 40 and 42. Even when you had Raffy, you were still up and down. So is speed at this point really helping the Red Sox? They're having trouble getting on base, limiting the strikeouts, getting runners home when they're in scoring position. That's where they've been having issues. Speed doesn't really seem to be helping them at this point. Now, other teams, maybe that skill set could help them out. For example, the Dodgers, right? I look at the Dodgers and I see a team full of bats. You got Mookie, you got Ohtani, you got Freeman, you got Teoscar, you got bats all over the place there. But Michael Conforto has not been a good pickup for them. Could you see a situation where maybe Jarren Duran could go into that lineup, give them some more speed, and then all of a sudden they now have even another look in this offense, right? The Dodgers right now, they're pretty middle of the road when it comes to stolen bases. They do have speed in that lineup, but Duran would just add just another dimension for that LA Dodgers offense. That's an example, right? Then you look at teams that have been connected here in the last couple of weeks. The Padres were, I've been told personally by a little birdie, that the Braves have made a phone call, at least kicking the tires. Though there is a fit there. There's absolutely a fit there with Jarren Duran out in left field for the Braves. And it feels like that's another good example as well, as a team that, Duran could help them take that next step, where the Braves, they've been kind of floundering a little bit, but maybe they just need that one extra piece to really unlock them, And the Braves, when it comes to overall speed in Major League Baseball, they rank near the bottom. So I think the Braves make a ton of sense for Jarren Duran. And Duran makes a lot of sense for them. But do the Braves have the trade assets to get a deal done? That's the problem. And I agree with you, Jennifer. Speed doesn't help if you can't get on base. And that's what I think exactly is the story here. Is the Red Sox, they can't do anything with it. I mean, yeah, it's great. You're hitting triples. But what good does speed do you if you're sliding into second base and your hand is coming off the bag and then you're getting thrown out? Or you're at second base like the other night against the Angels and you're taking off for third on a ground ball and you're getting thrown out in a rundown. What good is speed going to do you when you're getting yourself thrown out? So I think for the Red Sox right now, that attribute, that skill set isn't what they need, right? Maybe in another year, maybe that helps you, right? But for this year, for the 2025 Red Sox, that's an issue. So I think Duran, I think he's the odd man out. And that a couple of weeks ago, I was saying, I thought Wilyer would be more attractive, right? Because he has that extra year of control, has that power upside, and Duran's hard to replicate. That's why I was leaning more towards maybe moving Wilyer. But with Wilyer, I think a lot of people forget as well that his defense in right field, that's also hard to replace, right? Fenway Park, right field, that's a tough spot in all of Major League Baseball. They have a tough right field. And Wilyer's been able to handle it. He actually looked pretty good there today. He tracked down a ball out there and got the ball in pretty quick. So Wilyer Abreu, he honestly, in a way, kind of reminds me a lot of Trot Nixon. A guy that's going to give you some thump. He's going to play a pretty decent defense for the most part in right field, even better than Trot Nixon. This gives you a pretty solid bat there, in the 5 or 6 spot. Maybe sometimes, batting third or fourth, So I think you can make the argument that, yeah, Duran might be hard to replicate, but so is Abreu, right? And with Abreu, has that extra year of control over Duran, and he's cheaper. So, and again, Duran, I think would really help out a lot of teams. Again, the Dodgers, Braves, Padres, talk about them. I mean, they make a ton of sense. They got a spacious left field. Petco Park, picture-friendly park. Duran would be great over there, I think, and just gives them that little extra in their lineup. So, but do the Padres, do they have the trade assets to get a deal done? That's where I'm at with the Padres and the Braves, because those two teams on paper, they're a nice fit for him, but do they match up as trade partners? That's the big difference. That's the big difference to me. I mentioned the Dodgers. I'm thinking, he mentions here the Guardians, the Royals. I probably don't see the Guardians doing this. The Royals, they do need bats. I think you could match up there. I think that's something that you could do. The Royals, they're kind of hanging around in that wild card race right now. They have a lot of pitching, but Cole Reagans is down now. He has a bit of a shoulder issue. So, I don't know. Could you maybe do something there where the Royals, they send back some pitching, and then the Red Sox, they send Duran? I think that's not completely out of the question. He says the Giants. I feel like the Giants are probably good now that they've gotten Raffy. And the Phillies and the Mets, I think those two teams are interesting as well. The Phillies, they have not gotten good production out of Brandon Marsh, so he would be an upgrade there. So I think that's possible. And Dave Dombrowski, that guy is going to be aggressive. They got some guys that maybe you could work out a deal. Could you do something with, say, either Aiden Miller, Justin Crawford, then maybe attach Mick Abel in there? Maybe something like Justin Crawford, Mick Abel, and maybe one more guy. Mick Abel is a major league ready arm at this point. So maybe there could be something there. Do the Phillies want to add a left-handed bat? They got a lot of lefties in that lineup. So that's something to consider as well. Same thing for the Mets. They got a lot of lefties there. They could use an answer out in center field every day. They got some young pitching. Brandon Sproat. That's a guy who looked great last year in the minor leagues, but hasn't really looked great this year. I don't know. Could you do something with like Trevor McGill? Possibly. They are going to be getting Sean Manaea, Frankie Montas back soon. So could you do something with, say, David Peterson or McGill? Maybe. I don't know. I think there are fits out there for Duran. And the more I think about it, the more I think that he's probably going to get moved. That's kind of the way I'm leaning. A few weeks ago, I was thinking Wilyer because he was the more attractive trade piece. And Duran, obviously, with the speed. But now, I don't think the speed matters. I really don't. And he's just made a lot of miscues, base running defense. I think Duran's going to end up getting moved at some point. Bregman? Absolutely not. Bregman is not getting moved. He also mentions here Aroldis Chapman. Chapman's interesting. That one's interesting to me. Because I could see a scenario where the Red Sox move him, but they still try to compete. But the idea of trading Chapman with how good he's been, it feels like he's the only arm that is going to come in and he's going to just lock it down. Like, he's the only one that really gives you, yes, the bullpen has been good, but a big part of that has been Chapman. He's the guy you can give the ball to right now, and he's going to be nails for you. But, I don't know. I'm looking at it from the Red Sox point of view. Getting Jordan Hicks, Justin Slayton coming back. I don't know. Tanner Houck. Could they put him in the bullpen? He doesn't look like he belongs in any rotation at this point. Could he be a guy you put back there? I don't know. So could there be a scenario where the Red Sox, kind of like the Brewers with Josh Hader a few years ago. Remember they traded him? They were in first place in the division, but they still moved him, and they had Devin Williams be the closer. And they got guys back in return. Robert Gasser, I believe, was in that deal. There was someone else in that deal. I can't remember. But could the Red Sox do that? Maybe. I could see that. I think Aroldis Chapman, I'd say I'm 50-50 on that one. But it's going to be interesting here over the next couple of weeks as we go into the All-Star break. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap it up right there. Thank you for joining me here today. Obviously, a tough series. Day off tomorrow. I think it's needed. Let's get some rest. We've had a lot of West Coast games. I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm very happy to have a day off tomorrow because these West Coast games, these late night shows that we've been doing, wow, I do not like these. I do not like doing them at all. But ready to get back to some East Coast times. That's going to be nice. So enjoy the day off tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate all of you in the chat. Jules, Jennifer, DJ, Nick. And DJ, I see you in the chat. Phillies make sense for Dombrowski. because Dombrowski drafted Durant. I think there's a connection there as well. I could see the Phillies, right? Just because Marsh hasn't really done much, but I just wonder about the lefty-righty thing. Do they want to add a right-handed bat? Like Luis Robert, right? That's what I think. That's the only thing that holds me back with the Phillies. They have the trade assets to get a deal done. Just what is their preference? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But everybody, I'm out of here. Thank you for watching here today. I do appreciate all of you. Enjoy the day off, and we'll see you Friday.